So, um, that new Grinch meal is pretty interesting. My mom keeps begging me for the socks for some reason. She really wants the Grinch socks. I think she thinks they're like cute or whatever. But like, okay, I got my pair of socks. We had the Grinch meal last night, and it was actually great. I really liked it. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get fucking E. coli or whatever, but you know what? Fuck it. That Grinch salt, that's kind of good, man. But I got it again yesterday. I mean, I'm gonna get it again today, and she can have the socks. I don't really need the socks. The socks are none of my concern. So yeah. Anyways, that's topic number one. That's a new topic. My mom just called me and was talking to me about the socks. So that's topic number one out of the way. Number two, westerns. I like westerns. I've liked westerns for a while. Basically, I got into westerns like last year, but it was through the usual entry point for most people who watch westerns nowadays. I watched Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, and the Dollars trilogy are like very close, I think, to being revisionist westerns. So they're like very interesting that most people who watch westerns are like, yeah, actually all the westerns I like are revisionist ones. Um, like how many people watch a Sergio Leone movie and then move on to like John Ford and like, yeah, man, this fucking rules. I mean, if you're a real fan of westerns, like just like westerns, um, you can do John Ford no problem. Um, I wonder who directed Three to Yuma, the 1950s version, because I know who did the one from the 2000s. That was James Mangold, real Hollywood journeyman there. But yeah, he did the Three to Yuma remake, which I actually like significantly more than the original movie. Like that was a great movie. And honestly, I think it had a more satisfying ending than the original. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Um, what's next? Red Dead Redemption 2. I've been playing that for the past week. It's basically been almost the only game. I've played other games in the meantime. I know I'm cheating on Red Dead Redemption 2. But yeah, to any of you watching this video, I need to cut my nose. I know. Don't say anything about it. I know. Anyways, uh yeah, RDR2 is a peak game. That's an amazing game. I think yeah, I like it a lot, and I've been playing the first one because Netflix released it on mobile, and I'm surprised that it runs really well. But I have a very new phone. This is a Samsung S Samsung Galaxy S25. So this is a very new model. So it's it makes sense that it would run this stuff pretty good. Uh, it's good. I mean, I'm not playing the regular game. I'm gonna finish RDR2 maybe before I do that. I've been playing Undead Nightmare. Uh, Pro tip: most of these mobile games that were console games before, if you have a Bluetooth controller, the best way to play them is with that Bluetooth controller, because the mobile controls suck fucking dick, bro. They're terrible. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, Next, The Wild Bunch, a film that I really want to see, but I saw the ending shootout of the movie, and then I watched some video essays about the movie because I was just so intrigued by what I saw of that ending shootout. Because when I watched that, I was like, this is like extremely violent, which of course it is. It's a shootout, and I think I'll put I'll try to find a video of it and put it in the description. I'll put the link in the description. But when I put the link in, I think what you should do, because I don't know exactly which upload I'm gonna find. I'm gonna try to find one that's just the guy getting his throat slit and then the whole thing starting. But if I don't and I use the official Warner Brothers upload, which I feel like kind of looks like shit, just skip like 4 minutes in. Or watch the whole 8-minute video if you want to do that. You know, I didn't. I probably should have, but I didn't. And also, I haven't seen the movie. I didn't want to spoil myself outside of the shootout. So, yeah. But even just from watching the shootout, I was like, this is very interesting because this is an extremely violent shootout that doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel fun. It's not like, you know, John Woo, Hard Boiled. Doesn't feel like, oh yeah, he's kicking their ass. I mean, oh yeah, this guy's kicking the enemy's ass. It's a bloody massacre in which both sides lose heavily. The Mexicans win because there's more of them left at the end, I think. Not because they out battled the Wild Bunch or whatever's left of them. But every one of the 4 men that are left in that group, I guess at that point, because I don't know, I haven't watched the movie, they're all dead by the end of the shootout. And what really got to me, there's like 3 or 4 things that really got to me. I'll say 4. So 1, the storytelling. It tells a story just from the shootout, just from watching it go through, you know, watching it play out. The editing creates a chaotic mood along with the sound design. And what am I trying to say? It's the 4th one. Cinematography. It was probably just the 3. Storytelling, editing, and sound design. So I'm going to talk about all 3 of those and why they're very interesting to me. The choices made, anyways. So first off, the storytelling. The whole thing is like they come to retrieve their guy that got kidnapped, and the Mexican general slits his throat in front of them. They start shooting, and after deciding, you know, we're not gonna get the fuck out of this, so we get shit anyways, basically. The leader shoots the guy, and then it's a whole big shootout. There's like a big like Lewis machine gun at the top of wherever they're at, and eventually someone gets to it and they just start shooting, and everybody's getting sprayed. People are falling off stuff. There's a whole lot of slow motion, which is pretty revolutionary for 1969. Shootouts were not shot in that way in Hollywood. Anyways, I don't know if there's like some weird Brazilian Western that used a whole bunch of slow motion during shootouts, but basically in Hollywood films, anyways, shootouts were not shot like that. And that's kind of like the brilliance of the new Hollywood. I really, really am very interested in the new Hollywood era where, you know, the auteur theory was very prominent, where it's like, okay, well, these directors are making their movies. We're going to leave them alone. They're going to make their movies how they want to make them. And Sam Peckinpah is a director that I have not watched too many of. I don't think I've watched a single one, actually, of Sam Peckinpah's movies. I have to, like, look at his filmography again, but I don't think I've seen a single thing Sam Peckinpah has ever put to the screen, and I really want to. Another Sam Peckinpah classic is Straw Dogs, but we're not here exactly to talk about Sam Peckinpah. I also have some other things I wanted to talk about, including one that's pretty current, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I get to it. But Sam Peckinpah, yeah, he directed The Wild Bunch, and then I watched this scene in the movie and I was like, this is great. But the editing is frenetic. It's fast. The cutting is fast. The sound design is an assault on the senses. I think the bullets firing, the people screaming, the destruction. I think that is captured through audio is it's sad. It makes me sad. It felt a pit in my stomach watching the scene. Like, oh my god, this is like destroying everything. And I haven't even watched the movie. And I was like, now that's the power of filmmaking, you know? To make somebody feel something with basically no context. That's how you know you've got a good director, a good editor, a good sound designer, good actors. Everything's good, at least. I think this final scene would actually be better described as great, or maybe even perfect for what it is. And the Wild Bunch being a meditation sort of on violence and the outlaws, you know, aging and America aging out of the Wild West and into contemporary society. It's very interesting stuff. And it makes sense why it's a revisionist Western. Now for another one. But this is not a Western. This is a mafia movie. But it is my favorite mafia movie. It's my favorite movie from the director. Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Sorry. This movie is really great because, well, to be honest, it is a complete deconstruction of the gangster lifestyle. It's the Neon Genesis Evangelion to the Godfather's Gundam. In that it completely shows the mobsters for what they are. I mean, I would say that The Godfather is pretty critical of the mob life too, but no mob film I think is as uncompromising, or unvarnished in its critique of gangsters as Once Upon a Time in America. Basically from the start, these guys are shitty people as children. And it just gets worse as they go on and become adults and do really heinous shit to people to get them to either leave them alone or get the fuck out of their way. And I kind of hate this comparison I just thought up, but you know that one like Black Panther poster where it says like "move on over" or "we'll move on over you." That's like, let us attain what the Black Panthers were trying to attain. I think a separate black state, where black people can live and stuff. They were black nationalists. They did not really want to be in this country, which is completely fucking understandable. I may not be a Black Panther and I may not exactly agree with everything the Black Panther Party did, but I understand a lot of stuff, and through the power of intersectionality, I can also apply that understanding of why maybe the Black Panthers did not want to be around white people to other scenarios involving radicals, but it's a little too political for today, anyways. Let me know if you guys want to see political takes from me. I'm not too developed in that front because like I have opinions and stuff, but it's like research on some of these things is not my strong suit. But anyways, back to Once Upon a Time in America, which is fantastic and also really long. This movie's like 3 hours and 49 minutes. And anytime I want to watch it, surprisingly, it goes by kind of fast. I'm seated for the movie. I really should not have said that. It feels wrong, to be frank. But anyways, back to the movie. This movie, Once Upon a Time in America, is great because of its complete deconstruction of the gangster lifestyle, and it's also just really uncompromising and unvarnished in that regard. Uh, One thing I want to focus on today is the false brotherhood at the center of the film. The film is primarily about Noodles, played by Robert De Niro, remembering his time in the game before the present, which in this film is 1968. But that makes me wonder, is Noodles' memory somewhat false, considering the stress that the game puts on them being brothers, fight and die for each other or whatever. And then one of the big guys in the game who's been making moves rats them out and gets 2 of them killed. He meant to get 3, but he only got 2. Because brotherhood doesn't mean jack shit in the criminal world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And even dogs who maybe were once related to each other will fucking eat each other, okay? The will to survive, the will to get whatever you want for these guys overrides a sense of honor, a sense of brotherhood. So that it's fake. It doesn't mean anything, and the words might not show that, but the actions certainly do. And Noodles is somebody who actually believed in this bond. So when it is so violently broken by Max, it kind of crushes him. And then when he meets Max later again in 1968 in the present, he's like, I stole everything from you. Why aren't you mad at me? And when I say that it kind of crushes Noodles, I mean, it kind of short circuits his brain. He will not allow himself to think that Max was responsible for the death of Cockeye and Patsy. He won't allow it. He cannot possibly think that Max was responsible. And this kind of breaks Max too, because the next time we see Max after this conversation, the last time we see him, he's waving goodbye to Noodles as Noodles leaves his estate. And a garbage truck with, I don't know what they call that stuff in the back. I'll just say shredders. Shredders in the back, whirring, comes by. And Noodles looks back and waves hi, and the truck goes past. And then the next time the truck goes past, we can see where Max was standing. Max isn't there. And it makes you wonder, did Max jump in the shredders because he couldn't take the guilt? Why did he jump in the shredders? If he did jump in the shredders, maybe he went in. That's the last we see of the future, anyways. The 1968. And the dodging that occurs in this movie is, just insane. There's so much dodging, and I don't mean physically. I mean like people dodging responsibilities and shit, things they should be doing, right? It's just wow, I'm tired. It's a very good movie. I really like Once Upon a Time in America. But what was the last thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, Netflix. Netflix is just doing great, guys. First off, the biggest show of the year from them. Lead actor's a fucking raging Zionist, I guess. Well, not a raging. His co-star is. He's just a fucking teenager who said Zionism is sexy. Meanwhile, actual bloodthirsty Zionist on the cast, Greg Gelman. I don't fuck with Gara Buono either, because she liked some of Noah Schnapp's blatantly pro-Zionist posts. It's like, I can't hang with Zionists, okay? I don't like them. I don't want to support them. I will be pirating the show from now on. But, what I don't get about Netflix is they're turning into Disney, okay? And it makes me worried because I want to go into film. I want to do stuff in film and television, and it seems like Netflix is one of the many companies doing everything that it can to ensure that this is not a viable industry for anybody except the people in power. You know, they just bought Warner Brothers Discovery, the whole of Warner Brothers Discovery, like the entire fucking library of shit that they have, shit that they own. So I'm sure HBO Max isn't gonna fucking exist at the end of the day. But think about that. A streamer that was invented in 1996, that wasn't even a streamer until a few years ago, is buying one of the oldest film companies in the entire history of the United States Hollywood filmmaking. They own all of it. They own every fucking thing Warner Brothers has done. Okay? Now, Disney was content buying stuff like Lucasfilm and Marvel, and I think they own National Geographic. I don't know, but and like Pixar, these are somewhat smaller companies. Okay, oh they didn't buy the whole of Marvel. I think they bought Marvel Studios, and it's like, okay, but one of the big five studios was just bought by a streamer. One of the big five, okay? Paramount, 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers, Columbia, and Disney. One of the big five, guys. One of the big five fucking studios. There's so much Warner Brothers shit that Netflix just fucking owns now and has a monopoly over. So if you want any Warner Brothers shit, I'm assuming that in the coming actually no, not Columbia. Replace Columbia with Universal. So it's Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal, Disney, and I don't know. I don't remember the list of the big five, but basically Netflix bought one of the big five companies, and this is very bad for business because just buying a whole big ass fucking company that has so much shit that you could release. It's completely unfair. It's maddening to me that this is happening, and that it seems like every day for art is just terrible, and it's just getting worse and worse every day. You know, between this fucking AI art slop, generative AI is honestly like a plague. It needs to be cleansed from this earth. That's how bad it is, in my opinion. I'm not saying, there needs to be no AI in general. But generative AI, specifically the ones that generate images and videos and the fucking chatbots and shit, plague on this planet. They need to die. They need to die now. And I wonder how long it will take before Netflix starts openly using generative AI in their shows and maybe even making whole shows out of generative AI. It's already happened. People have already made shows out of generative AI. So, who wouldn't put it past Netflix, I wouldn't. I certainly would not put it past Netflix. And the funny thing is, I watched this video by the Morbid Zoo on Sinners, and I thought it was a very interesting take on the movie, especially considering the importance of art in the movie, and the fact that to some people, Remick and his vampire hive mind thing or whatever can represent the fucking AI bros who are trying to take over everything and turn everything into one big slop, goop, mush. It really breaks my heart. And Warner Brothers Discovery isn't even that fucking good, but they shouldn't be bought entirely by fucking Netflix. That's dumb and that's stupid and it's wrong, in my opinion. Okay? Yeah, but that's it. I don't know what's going on with my eyes. I gotta close my eyes or something, man. That's what you get when you fucking terrible sleep schedule. Okay, guys, don't go to sleep at appropriate times. Don't fuck around on your phone for like 2 hours. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Okay, that's not the only lesson you should take from my video, but yeah, go to sleep. I'm gonna go now. I got work to do. Involving shit. Like, I'm gonna make fries and do my homework. So, I'll see you guys later, I guess. Bye.